Doing good to others is a basic virtue. We all want to be treated well, and the Proverbs 31 woman extends her hand to the poor, and she reaches out her hand to the needy. My late mother-in-law was just like this woman described in Proverbs 31. She led a ministry that took care of thousands of needy children, and she helped out many people. She cooked food and she hosted many people. She was very generous in giving and serving people all of her life. This is something we are all commanded to do. Christianity is a faith that gives to people, that helps and serves people. People like Mother Teresa did what she did because of her faith. Looking out for the needs of others, especially the poor, is a very important part of our faith. Jesus said that the poor will always be around. There will always be people who need our help. And sometimes, though it's not always easy to know how to help people and serve people who are in need, this is something that a woman of noble character does. She stretches out her hand to the poor and needy. Again, her hands are mentioned twice in this verse. Our hands have been given to us to do the work of God. God has given us our hands to serve Him and to do good. Helping people in need is a good thing to do. We can share what we have been blessed with, and from our resources, we can relieve other people who are less fortunate. It is God's character, His nature is to give. He's the one who gave us life. He gave us all the things that we have. And it is a reflection of God to give, to serve people, to bless people. God gave us salvation. He gave us His Son. And Jesus said, freely you have received, freely give. We are clearly called to serve one another. And we are to do it out of love, to bear other people's burdens, to lift them up, because we serve a God who has done so much for us. The next verse in Proverbs says, she is not afraid of snow for her household, for all her household is clothed with scarlet. Here is a woman who is prepared for the seasons which are more difficult, the winter seasons. There's a story about the ant and the grasshopper, in which the grasshopper plays all summer while the ant is working, and the grasshopper regrets not having worked in the summertime when the winter comes, and the ants have everything they need for winter, but the grasshopper is cold and hungry. Wisdom looks ahead to the seasons of need and lack, and those who are wise prepare for the seasons while the days are good. Jesus also told a story about 10 virgins who were wise and stored up their oil in their lamps. And there was a long wait for the virgins, and those who had stored up the oil were ready when the time came for them to go. Those who hadn't prepared lost their opportunity. The significance of the color scarlet can be seen throughout the Bible. It reminds us of Jesus' blood. For New Testament believers, we are mindful that Jesus' blood was shed for us. He gave us His life so that we can have eternal life. He shed His blood on the cross so that we would be forgiven, that we will receive from Him eternal life. And because of His sacrifice for us, we are able to have life. We are able to have access to God the Father, and we are able to enjoy His provision and His salvation for all eternity. Being clothed in scarlet reminds us of God's covering for our lives. Verse 22 says, she makes tapestry for herself. Her clothing is fine linen and purple. In this verse, we see that the virtuous wife is able to pursue her own interests and dresses herself well. Being a homemaker and a wife does not mean that you lose your identity and you never have time for yourself. As we see in this verse, the virtuous woman has time. She makes time to do something she enjoys, and she does not neglect herself, and she does not neglect her own appearance, seeing that she dresses well. One of the fears women have is that marriage has a way of changing your life, and some people think that it makes you lose your identity. But that is so wrong. We all live for other people, and living for yourself is a lonely life. Living for others in marriage, living for your family and for your husband, does not mean that you are no longer yourself. Being in a marriage is the greatest blessing that I have seen in my life. And I feel like everything became richer and more blessed after marriage. Just like the virtuous woman made tapestry for herself, doing the things that you enjoy refreshes you, it recharges you, and it helps you enjoy your own life so that you can bring joy to other people as well. A healthy attitude and looking after yourself is very important. It's important to take care of yourself for the good of your family and for the people around you. That also goes for your clothing. It says her clothing is fine linen and purple. Being well dressed reflects well on the people who are around you. Verse 23 says, her husband is known in the gates when he sits among the elders of the land. Sometimes I struggle for ideas and it takes a while to come up with them. But this idea came just while I was working, and there was an image in my book that I saw, which I photocopied and transferred onto this page, of a man standing on top of the shoulders of a woman. And there's an expression that says, behind every successful man, there is a supportive woman. That's the idea that came to my mind, with an image of a gate and hands. The man is standing on the shoulder of a woman, because it is because of the woman that he is successful, that he is respected, he has a place in society. Oftentimes it is that way, that influential men have very supportive wives. And because of the peace in his home, he is able to go out and influence people and lead others and be successful in society. Being a supportive and loving wife can elevate the man. And if you bless him and if you encourage him, if you treat him respectfully and enables him to excel. The main point is that the husband is honored and respected and valued in society, enabling his rise to powerful positions. The woman does a great and noble task. Being good to others reflects back on you. You do yourself a favor when you're good to others, and doing bad to others will ultimately bring you down as well. So even if it seems like you gain advantage by putting others down, it never works out that way. I hope that you learned about the benefit of serving others and doing good, and I hope that it encourages you when you do things for other people. It will elevate you. It'll make you feel proud and happy when people around you are helped and that they feel respected and loved and they have greater influence in the world because of what you do. We're all responsible to build others up, and we want to be built up as well. But in order to do that, we have the part to play, to bless other people, and we will also be blessed. I hope that you're encouraged today. May the Lord bless you.